subject matter. That's all I'm saying is don't fall prey to your. Oh, we online? We live now?
Yeah,
yeah don't
that's
fall.
right. Everybody heard him.
Whatever.
That's right. Adam is ghetto. Let's go.
Let's go.
The doors of the Love Church are now open. Dear world, you name it, we cover it from the world of singles to the behind the scenes of the greatest movie ever filmed, called Marriage. We dig into everything from dating 101. Why won't they commit? It's complicated. I can't do it if it's the three of us. They're a good person, but I'm not attracted to them in that way. 2, they really didn't disclose who they were before I said I do. How do I do this if they can't keep a job? The bills are paid, but the bedroom is suffering. Did I marry you or did I marry your family? Because we only can take care of us. Let's open up our marriage. Why do I have to buy into your beard gang illusion? You could have told me you were down low and we could have remained friends and not married. And last but not least, did you marry me or your pastor? Have we gotten your attention yet? If so, tune in to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, if you want to hear more of today's real issues in the world of love. The doors of the Love Church are now open.
All right. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing? Just want to
Pretty good. Yes, let me know if you hear some kind of, you guys hear any noise. The people are replacing their roof across the street, so they got like a whole crew making all this noise, interrupting my day. But anyway, all right, let me reset.
Wow.
Greetings and welcome to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. I'm your host, Charles Dixon, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Adam Ford. How are you, sir?
What's up, fam? Doing good, man. Doing okay for Thursday. I keep forgetting that we have a holiday on this coming Monday, so we gotta.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like holidays don't feel like they used to,
I know. I keep forgetting. The holiday coming up. I'm gonna wake up Monday morning and go to my office and start working.
Yeah,
it's a holiday.
Yeah, it feels different.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So anything? So by way of we're gonna have to come back to this on another show, but it's been a lot of trending this past week. I forget the lady's name, but there's this popular kind of therapist that was interviewing Cam Newton, and she
I heard about that. Yeah.
The other guy, Nick Cannon, too. So in other words, she's kind of addressing some situations about men sometimes, I guess, that are in these high-profile brackets that can afford these multiple children, right?
Right.
And they having the children, but not necessarily marrying the women. They're just kind of, I can take care of them. Don't worry about, I got the money, so it doesn't matter how many baby moms I have. That kind of thing.
Right.
So, yeah, that'd be an interesting topic to get into.
From what I heard, she wasn't wrong. She was speaking.
Yeah.
To
Oh no, she challenged them for sure. Yeah. She challenged them for sure.
I mean, just real quick, honestly, as men, we need to be accountable for our behavior and our actions.
Yeah.
We got to be accountable for some of this stuff. And when we get, when you are being, I guess, called into account for what you have done or what you haven't done, you got to answer for it, man. You can't act like you didn't do it. You can't act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
You got to be accountable. And unfortunately, we live in a time and space where people don't want to be accountable.
That's it.
They want to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. And, they don't care about the consequences, But consequences aren't just limited to a specific or a singular person. Consequences are always visited upon everyone else that's around you,
True. That's true. Yeah, that's good stuff, though. I mean, it'll be a good thing when we can bring both people to the table, the men and the women, because the man is the one who feels though I can pay for it, so it's my business, right? Then the woman is going to say, well, he's taking care of it, he's paying me, so don't y'all worry about it. But the problem is money doesn't just solve the fatherlessness, right? It doesn't solve that part. I mean, the money can take care of things, but the absence is the key. We're not gonna go down this rabbit hole. We'll be talking about this anyway. All right. All right. So today we are talking about, in short, I know sometimes I have to apologize when I be writing my topics and my titles. Sometimes I know people be like, "What are you talking But anyway, in short,
Me, that's what I'll be asking that question.
in short,
what are you talking about?
I get lost in my head sometimes when these things are swirling. I gotta just put them down on paper. But anyway, if I had to kind of make it easier to consume, basically we're dealing with the snatching of energy and how prevalent it is today. And the reason I say it's prevalent is because in most relationships that we desire to get in, find ourselves in, already in, married in, and so on, there is a consistency and a pattern, if you will, as to how someone is loving on you, treating you, pursuing you, the whole nine. And it's so much so that it becomes, there's nothing like, only if you've experienced this, you can kind of understand. When you experience those ebbs and flows of energy shifts, it's like surfing, right? It's like you're out there in the ocean and you can't judge the waves, but you got anxiety because at any moment one of them waves might bury you, right? So it's kind of a nerve-wracking thing, but it happens.
Right.
So I think I'll start it off like this, Mr. Ford.
Yeah.
Most of us understand the dynamics. If anybody has ever financed a car or is financing a car currently, and if you started out, if you didn't pay cash for it, and if you're paying a note of some sort, there is the goodness that comes with, Mr. Ford, your credit is great here because you pay on time. We got you.
Right.
Then there is the other side of it when you become deficient. And when you become deficient to a certain point that the calls can no longer handle, right? Now It's like they have those conversations away from the call where they're like, you know what, put an APB out on such and such vehicle. We need to go ahead on and we need to go ahead and recover this one.
Right.
Now, so a picture in your relationship. You had those calls, right? So you had those calls and you're talking and you're trying to discuss things and there's issues going on or what have you, good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. So picture one of the parties in the relationship, whoever's the person with the problem, driving around in the repo truck, right? They're lurking around the relationship thinking while the truck is searching, the people are thinking at night. You notice how most of these things happen at night, or it's always a time where it catches you sleeping.
Right.
You might be at the park. You might have thought you was going to stop for a minute and go get your food. You come back out, the car is gone.
That's gone.
And you're like, wait, you caught me slipping. So you got to think about it in the relational sense. When a person, from their perspective, is fed up, upset, in their feelings, the needs are unmet, the expectations aren't balancing out like I thought, people will go off to their own space and say, I think we need to recover this energy. So they're out. And what happens is if they catch you slipping, snatched. And the next thing you know, the next day you're like, good morning. Hey, how are you, babe, sweetie, whatever your thing is, honeydew, whatever.
Right.
Crickets. You immediately can tell there was a shift. Something occurred. The communication is off. The communication is different. What's wrong, right? You go to thinking, what's wrong? And then you're like, is everything okay? And here's the cruelest part about repos. Everything okay? Sure. They know they took the energy, right? But they're going to tell you it's okay, and it's not. And the key about repossessions, if anyone's ever had that experience, is the reason the repossession took place, or in the relational sense, the reason the issue is here because there is an apparent debt that has not been paid, right? In the relational sense, there is some issues that have not been settled. So that's why I took the energy. That's why I took the car, right? And so now the key is, we all know if you've ever had a car taken in your life, it seems harder to get it back than when it did to let them take it, right? It's like when you have the power when you got it. When you tucking it away, you know, folks are hiding and everything else when it's you doing you. But when the repo person gets it, not only did they take it and they have it, but now you have to pay these penalty fees, extra fees, storage fees every day. This relationship sits in this position, the more in my feelings I get. And the more in my feelings I get, the more this is potentially not going to get back to normal. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when we have to stop and say, look, let's do the next best thing that any person that got their car taken and they know it's an issue, and your relationship is snatched and you know it's an issue. You say, this is the time I need to kindly communicate so that we can get to a point of understanding where hopefully some of this stuff can be forgiven.
Right.
And if it's forgiven, we can get to some sort of resolve that we can try to fix this before it gets too far gone.
Okay. So did you want me to read this thing or you just want me to I don't need to read it.
No, go ahead. I got on my tangent. Go ahead. You got me started today.
It's gonna be one of them kind of shows. You got to do your tangent. That's what let me know. He's already done his first tangent. Here we go. The energy repo man. Are you current or in danger of being snatched? There's no feeling quite like that of someone unsuspectingly snatching something away from you suddenly. This element of surprise in the relationship space has left many with the task of dealing with anxiety, stress, and triggering of emotions, etc. We are all entitled to change our minds and even intentions when dating or even in relationship with someone. However, in all fairness, everyone deserves the proper burial of closure if you've changed your position with them. Even utility bill carriers offer a disconnect warning before disconnecting. That said, it's important to know that some things in life only move forward when the power to do so by energy. And so it is in love when we decide to be selfish and act without notice or an offering of understanding, we kill the power, which then kills the energy and the ability to move forward. This perspective sheds light on today's culture, which has quickly become the breeding ground for some of the most emotionally cutthroat, self-serving, and agenda-minded predators in the game of love. We have pretty much become a prepaid society where those who pay on time are rewarded and those with deficient acts are instantly closed out. These behaviors come in many forms, including premature blocking, being dismissive, and the snatching of love's air, also known as energy repossession. Okay, Charles, now you're making up stuff. This is when you go from breathing. This is when you go from breathing in the aromas of interest and intention while impregnated with expectation to that same energy being repoed while gasping for air and answers, wondering if their interest still has a pulse. With what once felt certain and hopeful with them now has you questioning whether they were ever serious at all. The unusual suspects, or rather the usual suspects, catalysts for such actions are unmet expectations, folks in their feelings for one reason or another, and the illusion, fear, or reality of being played with.
Wow. That's real talk. I mean, listen, feelings are a real thing. Like people getting in them, people feeling as though they have justifiable reason to let it ride, to hold on to it, and to just kind of keep that thing going and going and going. But from my perspective, we are all entitled to feel a way if something isn't going the way that we think or it's planned or what have you.
Right.
But when you decide to change it or shift it, it's totally your call. You want to change the energy, snatch the energy, fine. But if you agree to be in something with someone, you owe them the shift notice.
Right.
It's like we talked about the utility bills. no one just cuts your stuff off without you seeing the bill, right? Now, granted, you could say my mail was forwarded somewhere else, I didn't get it. Okay. Nonetheless, something went out, right? So is the same in the relational world.
Okay.
We make decisions every day to disconnect power from relationships, and we don't tell people a thing.
Right.
And when that happens, I mean, you got to think of it. It's like anything else that gets cut. If you cut the power at my house today, and I leave out of here and kind of like say, well, I'm going to go off until they come back, and I'm going to leave until they come back and cut it on. Well, if I come back home late at night and if it's not on, now I'm worrying about my food spoiling.
Right.
Now it's like there's a residuals that happen when you don't address the disconnect.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to just not think it's cool to just chop it off, cut it off, say whatever, and then be out. That's one, to me, that is one of the larger reasons why so many people are walking around with anxiety. People are stressed out over relationships.
Wow.
I mean, it shouldn't be that bad. Like now, having to agree with some things or having a discussion about who feels is right and what this should be right is one thing.
Yeah.
But to just psychologically take jabs at somebody and keep on messing with their nervous system is selfish. Yeah. Because when you snatch and stop and pull, you over here, we don't know what you're thinking. At the end of the day, no one wants to hear this, but it's selfish.
True.
You're ultimately saying, I don't care how I handle you because I'm in my feelings. I don't like how you supposedly are handling me or not handling me, quote unquote, whatever that issue is. So I'm going to do this. Right. And I don't care what you say, how you feel about it, deal with it.
Yeah. When you were even talking about it before the show, Lord have mercy. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have a transparency moment. I know what you're talking about. Because I think, and I'll just speak from my own personal experience. I think for me, sometimes when it comes to maybe some things that need to be discussed, or if I'm feeling some sort of way about a particular situation, I have had the tendency and still have the tendency to an extent of kind of shutting down in terms of communication. And I think a lot of us, if we would be honest, we would be able to admit the fact that that we shut down. And it's even funny because I was even thinking about something that just happened maybe a couple of months back in the summertime, where I kind of like, quietly tried to, be quiet about whatever the issue was that was in the back of my mind. But my wife was like, no, we need to talk about whatever it is that's on your mind because it's bothering us. Yeah. And you need to give it voice. And I think sometimes we have a tendency, because we don't want to talk about it because we're afraid of offending the other person, or we don't want to open up this can of worms because we got to go through and we got to sort whatever this issue is out, and we just don't want to do it. But the reality is, unless we do it, it's going to continue to remain there. And then, Charles, what will end up happening is, because we've avoided the issue and we haven't discussed the issue, just like that car payment that we continue not to pay, eventually, that thing is going to get repossessed. Eventually, that thing is going to get disconnected. Because you refuse to address the issue as it is. Neglecting is not answering the issue. Avoiding is not answering the issue. Going in the other direction is not answering the issue. You have to face the issue head on, regardless of how uncomfortable it might make you, regardless of how painful it might be. You might not necessarily feel as though you can deal with it, but at some point in time, ladies and gentlemen, we got to deal with these issues. Otherwise, there's going to be a disconnection notice that you get.
Wow.
Otherwise, the repo man's going to come in the night and he's going to take your stuff because you have not dealt with the issue at hand. So we really need to kind of like take a step back and be like, okay, there are some things I need to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, and you need to have somebody in your life. You need to be in relationship with somebody in your life who is willing to, I guess, regardless of your frustration or even your anger toward them, you need to have somebody in your life that will, and I talked about this earlier, hold you accountable and be willing to address the thing that you don't want to address, because otherwise it's going to kill both of you.
That's it.
It's gonna suffocate the entire relationship. And so you have to be willing to do some of those things that you don't want to do. Having some of those hard conversations that you may not necessarily want to have. Yeah. And again, this is all in the effort to not get your stuff cut off. Listen. Let's be real. Let's be real. Yeah. Real. Let's be real about this, okay? And I don't want to look. Watch this. Don't nobody raise your hand. But how many of y'all in the house today have had your power cut off?
Yeah, for sure. You done had something cut off for sure.
How many of y'all have had your car or cars repossessed at some point in time?
For sure.
And then you know how that happened. It happened because you weren't paying attention to the stuff that you should have been paying attention to. When that bill came in the mail for you to pay your electricity, you should have opened up that mail and paid that bill. But because you put that bill in a drawer somewhere and you weren't paying attention to that bill, and the amount of that bill began to increase over time, now you're getting a disconnection notice. They're going to disconnect you on the 29th of this month.
Yeah.
They're going to turn your power up. They're coming to get your car. Real quick. So, Charles, you know it takes a minute for your car to get repossessed, right?
For sure.
It didn't just happen overnight, and this is part of the subtlety of shutting down.
Yeah.
This is part of the subtlety of shutting down, because you might do it today, and there might not be any immediate effects.
Yeah.
Okay, you might do it today, and you don't see anything happening right now.
Yeah.
But if you continue to practice that thing, and you continue to do that thing that you're doing in terms of shutting down, I guarantee you, the more you ignore that electric bill, the more you ignore that car payment, they got you on the list.
Yeah.
They're either going to cut you off or they're going to get the stuff.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to come get the stuff. You remember, I don't know, what's the name of the store? The store where you can come get your furniture. You can rent your furniture out.
Rent-A-Center?
Rent-A-Center.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to get your furniture.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Totally embarrassing. You went to the store and you picked out what you wanted for your living room, for your dining room, for your bedroom. You picked out all the stuff, and you were happy the day it got in there. But now you got to deal with the bill. The bill comes due. You got to pay that bill.
Yeah.
You want to pay the bill. You wanted to ignore the bill. The bill is there actually to help you keep the stuff that you got. But you don't see it as something to help you. You see it as something to hinder you. And so you ignore the bill.
Yeah.
How many of y'all ignoring your problems?
Yeah, you don't want to confront it. You
don't want to deal with it. You want to ignore it. Like it's not there. You want to walk over it and gloss over it and pretend like it's not there, all the while suppressing all of those thoughts and those feelings that you're having.
Yeah.
At one point in time or another, you're going to have to address the issue.
Yeah.
Stop walking away from the issue. Because I guarantee you, the more you walk away, that repo man and disconnection people
still lurking.
They're going to come. They're going to send the people out to disconnect your gas. Yeah. You don't pay that bill. Come on, man.
But you know what I've also discovered? And this is the good thing that can come from not avoiding the repo person.
Okay.
Because one of the benefits the customer, meaning the person that doesn't have the complaint, has is just because you get a bill, it does not mean that bill or that debt is correct.
Okay.
Just because you got an issue with me or with someone else, it doesn't mean your issue is correct. It's an issue, but that's the whole point of the bill. Let's go through the itemization and let's break it down. And let's make sure this is correct. Because I'm sure many of us have been overcharged, have been things have been, taken and added to your credit, and you like, wait, I don't even have that account. So that's the whole point of filing a dispute.
Okay.
Yeah, some people in these relationships file your dispute. Don't just take the complaint or the bill at face value, because it's almost at least in the relationship space, there is emotional interest added to that bill. There's some other stuff added that wasn't there initially, because when some feelings get in it, then it's like, what, and you be pain and suffering, and I didn't do this either. It just goes awry. So you got to have these discussions to talk about these things and to make sure that the debt owed is correct. And if it is found to be correct, then you find a reasonable means of talking about it, getting through it, getting that thing resolved so that the other person feels acknowledged, feels as though you are committed to take action towards fixing it, and giving them that warm and fuzzy that this is indeed hopeful, and that I just don't need to keep the car or keep the relationship to myself. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. So here's another part that we don't talk about a lot.
Okay.
But vibrational frequencies is a thing.
Okay.
And some of us are dealing with people that are not on our frequency levels. And think about it this way. If you ever came up in the era of people turning on radios and tuning in your band, like for myself, when I would turn the radio on, sometimes it goes immediately. It happens in my car. It'll go immediately to AM, and it just pains me to hear that frequency.
Okay.
It's always just white noise, loud. I'm like, so I immediately give me FM. Let me go until I can hear what feels good to my chemistry level.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is sometimes we are trying to work things out with people that it is virtually impossible because you're not on the same frequency.
Okay.
You both see life differently, extremely differently, and you don't really have compromise to make it work. Compromise meaning sometimes that frequency off-putting can say, hey, sweetie, do you mind if we go get one of those high value HD antennas in 4K to help our clarity? You get my drift, help something be more clear to us, as opposed to just taking it where it is and it's not working. But I promise you, the frequency thing of vibrational frequencies, it's a real thing. If you're a person that's always humming low, insecure, I could tell you every true thing in the book, but you don't believe it because your vibration is too low.
Okay.
Forget about my fingerprints being in the system, me being a historic, whatever you want to call me. If I choose to change my frequency, that's my business.
Okay.
That don't mean you got to keep me in prison forever because of what my fingerprints told you yesterday. You understand what I'm saying? Change your frequency, level up, because no one wants to live in the low zone. I don't.
True.
So that's for sure.
True. I mean, well, okay. So I guess in regards to that, I guess we should actually say, if you're going to talk about frequency and signals and bandwidth, that it's important that the both of you, if we're in the relationship together, that we both need to be not only on the same wavelength or radio station, but we also need to be attuned to that thing. Now you can have your radio on, you can have your walkie on, you can have it on.
Yeah.
If you're not tuned,
that's good.
Specifically now, I'm not talking about in a general way. I'm talking about specifically if you're not attuned and tuned
the
correct channel, then regardless of how much you're talking,
Yeah.
if I'm not tuned into your frequency, I'm not going to ever hear what you have to say.
Wow.
I'm not going to know. I'm not even going to know that you're talking. You know why? Because I'm not tuned or attuned to your frequency. I'm not on the right channel to be able to hear what you have to say. And some of us are in the spot in relationships where we're in the same room, sleeping in the same bed, you know, but we're not attuned to one another.
Wow. But why not?
But because we haven't taken the time out to ask the other person just the simple question, what channel are you on?
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going next.
What channel are you on?
Truck drivers show us this every day. And sometimes when they get on that CB, you can tell your partner to keep. Now, here's where it gets tricky. Mm-hmm. Hey, sweetie. Oh, hey, sir. Do you mind meeting me on channel 6? That's where I flow best. Yeah. How about you? Are you okay with channel 6? Oh, channel 6 works for me. The problem is channel 6. Oh, no. I'm on channel 12. I don't do 6. This is where I'm at, and I don't care if you're on 6. I'm going to operate here, you're going to operate there, and we'll just see if we can still hear one another.
Right.
That's why sometimes we don't work. We can't even get to the simplest of things of trying to understand. Listen, in order for me to hear you clearly, in order for you to hear me clearly, we have to be on the same bandwidth.
Right.
We got to be on the same frequency level. If not, it's going to, because you ever notice there are some relationships, and even, I don't even care if those relationships didn't turn out with you marrying someone or being in a long-term whatever, but whatever it is you had, call it situational, intentional, whatever, it seemed easy. Meaning it just seemed like whatever that thing was, it worked. It just was easy. And that's an example of people being on the same wavelength.
True.
And sometimes when some things just seem like it's just, oh my God, if you're saying, oh my God, 25, 30 times over, and it's just continually, something is wrong with the signal.
Right. Yeah.
And in most cases, what we used to do back in the old house, Bruce, we go up there and say, smack the TV, boom. And you hope the smack to the TV is going to jolt the antenna and your channel going to come in clear. Now, I'm not saying smacking nobody.
I was going to say, you need to clarify.
I'm talking about jolting, the situation. And sometimes you jolt it because you're hoping, oh, there we go, picture's clear again. Yeah. But sometimes we need to do those kind of adjustings to get these clear signals. Because nowadays, think about it. There is the signal of me and you, and the signal of everyone around you, and the signal of the world, social media.
Right.
And you see how we can get clogged up, and it's hard to hear because we're hearing too many things and too many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real talk. You know, I'll say this, and I kind of want to go back to the whole Repo'd.
Look at Bruce did just shake her a few times.
You know, this is what
Bruce got it. No,
check this out. So I because we have advanced technology now in terms of cell phones and computers and laptops and all these different things. If you think back to those older television sets with the rabbit ears, and sometimes you had aluminum foil on them, and changing the channel or whatever like that. The thing of it is, depending on the quality of the TV set that you had, determine your ability to receive a channel clearly.
That's good. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If it was a cheaper set, if it was a cheaper TV set, then your ability to receive a channel clearly was limited, right? It was harder. It was a lot more difficult, which means you needed to add a lot more stuff to the TV set in order for it to receive a clearer channel.
Yeah.
But the more expensive the TV set, or the better made the TV set, determine, or rather indicate the quality of the TV will enable it to be able to pick up the signal clearly, or even more clearly than a lower quality TV set would.
Yeah.
So my question is this: is do you have the capacity to hear the signal of your partner?
Wow.
Are you in a place where you don't have a whole lot of stuff going on in your ears? Are you in a place where a whole lot of interference is coming in and out of where you in terms of your life? Do you possess the capacity to receive that signal that your partner is sending?
Wow.
That's the question you need to ask.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have the capacity to do it, then you don't have the capacity. You cannot give what you don't have.
Yeah.
And that might be a hard truth to accept, but it's true. If you don't have it, you don't have it. Wow. It don't matter how many times you hit the TV, no matter how many times you put aluminum foil on the antenna, it's a low quality TV. It doesn't have the ability to receive that signal. But if you have a higher quality TV, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
And then that means the manufacturer, watch this, the manufacturer has given this particular TV set more bandwidth to be able to hear and receive higher signals. So my question is, do you have that capacity? That's my question.
And then, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go.
No, I was going to say, and where are we shopping to get these
Oh, Lord. I hope you're goodwill. I mean, I appreciate the goodwill, but you really want a good TV.
Yeah, where we shop, because that's be honest. Some of these TVs don't come with all of the preset technology to make the connection that much more easier.
True.
They're just broken down and this, that, and the other. That's that. All right. Here's the other side about this. Is what another thing I was thinking when you were talking about the energy part of it.
Okay.
We all know, like, if it's good energy in what we have, we're okay. The better the energy, the more upset we are when it's taken.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When it's taken away, it's like, wait, what's going on? Why are you not talking? Why are you not calling? Why are you not texting? Whatever the case is. What happened? Because you deem the energy as good. But I don't know about anybody else on tonight.
Oh, no.
There are some cases where we got a car that's giving us problems. Mm-hmm. The car's broke down. It's smoking a little bit. It's already, we done ran the miles up, but we still owe a balance. I don't know about y'all, but I know people who say they can come and take it. Take it off of my hands. Come and pick up the car, snatch the energy, because hey, this is a clunk of junk anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing me a favor. So that's where I'm going with that is we got to know when we're having these energy exchanges, energy is energy, but the difference is it good energy or is it bad energy?
All right.
If it's bad energy, you get bad responses.
Yeah.
When it's good energy, you get healthy responses.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta say to ourselves. What is the most consistent energy ratio exchange between us? Positive or negative?
Okay.
You gotta weigh that out and just say, you know what? I'm going through all this stress, worrying about this repo, but is it that deep? I mean, is it really that deep to keep stressing over? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So okay. So let's do this. And I'm probably going to say something that might make you uncomfortable and may upset you a little bit. But okay. So you're talking about a car. You got the car. I don't know where you got the car from. Most of the time when people buy cars, they want to buy a nice car. They're going to keep it for a while, so they're going to make sure that everything is good on it or whatever like that. So what happens is you go to the car lot and you go to the dealership and you see a car that you like and you find out how much that car costs, and then you go through the process of getting a loan for the car because you don't have that kind of money in your pocket. You don't have that kind of discretionary finance available to you. So what you have to do is you have to go get a loan for the car. Check your credit, blah 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 blah. Okay, fine, whatever. Then you get the loan, and now you got the car. And now you got the car, you're driving along or whatever like that, Now, regardless of what you do with that car in terms of driving it, here, there, everywhere, running over potholes, maybe getting the oil changed every now and again,
Yeah.
Not getting tuned up, not rotating your tires. Okay. That responsibility of maintaining the vehicle is the owner's responsibility.
Correct.
That's what your job is. But because you don't take care of the car doesn't mean that you don't pay the note on the car.
Correct.
These are two separate things. So regardless of how you treat the car bad, it ain't gonna last long. It ain't gonna last any point in time.
Right.
Okay. But regardless of how you treat the car does not have any impact on your payment on the car.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So we want to treat the car any old kind of way. We want to do what we want to do with it. We don't treat it right. We don't get the oil change. Every now and then we put some gas in it. We don't get it. We don't maintain it. We're not doing any real maintenance.
To it at all.
On our car. We're not doing any real maintenance on our relationship. We just running our relationships ragged. We just doing what we want to do in the relationship. We're not doing no maintenance on it. We're not taking care of it. It ain't tuned up. You know what I'm saying? It's just we don't even take it to the car wash to get it clean.
That's it. But
regardless, watch this. Regardless of how you treat that car,
you still
has nothing to do with the payment on the car.
No, absolutely true.
The people don't. The loan office, in terms of where you got the loan to purchase the vehicle, they don't care about how you treat that car. All they want is their money. And when you don't pay them their money, they're going to come get it.
No, the point I was trying to make in that instance, it's not necessarily about the payment. I'm saying there are scenarios when people don't care about both.
And I get that.
People don't care. Sometimes people are like, whatever, ding what you got to ding, put a judgment, whatever. Because to be honest, if you back it up, and you were saying something about the car and how you treat it along the way. Sometimes, if we're honest, we know before that car matures, we made a bad investment.
Okay.
That's a lot we know we do. The interest rate is too high with this person.
Okay, and I get that. I understand it. That's not where I'm going with this.
Okay, gotcha.
My point in saying this is that you still have a responsibility. To that. And this is something that we don't necessarily want to we don't want to deal with responsibility.
That's for sure.
We don't want to be responsible. This is the reason why Lord have mercy. This is the reason why the electric bill doesn't get paid, because we have to be responsible for that. This is the reason why cars get repossessed, because we don't want to be responsible. This is the reason why relationships don't work the way they're supposed to work, because we don't want to be responsible.
That's it.
You can't blame nobody else for the state of your situation except you. And this is, again, the reality is, okay, in my own shutting down and not wanting to talk about what I needed to talk about, I'm still responsible for my relationship. I still have to talk about the stuff that I don't want to talk about. I still have to address the things that I'm trying to avoid. I still have responsibility for those things. You know what I'm saying? And I think as people, we need to take a hard look, number one, at ourselves and determine whether or not we have been responsible with the things and the people who are in our lives. I have a responsibility to my wife in the relationship and marriage, which means, yes, there are going to be things, conversations, discussions that we need to have that I may or may not want to have. But regardless of that, I have to be responsible for these things. Charles, listen, the reality is that, now understand that feelings do have a place in our relationships. They absolutely do. They have a place in our relationship, but I can't just run my relationship solely based on my feelings.
That's the truth.
I have to consider some facts that have nothing to do with feelings in order to make proper decisions and take full responsibility for my relationships. Yes, you feel what you feel. Absolutely. Not saying or discounting the validity of your feelings.
Right.
But with your feelings, alongside your feelings, there are also facts that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah.
This is what it means to be responsible in your relationship and not shutting down and not repoing stuff and not connecting.
Yeah.
You should be responsible for what you're doing.
Yeah. And speak on it before you taking anything, right? So here is the positive side about the whole repo process.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like if I'm just talking to me personally, I'm okay with the repo process if there's an agreement already in place. Somewhere Charles signed to say, I'm going to do this for 48 months, whatever, right? And meaning in the relational sense, I am agreeing on paper that you and I are committed in this relationship. What do you do? Because you got instances out here today. What is it called when someone lurks a parking lot and repossesses a car, but you don't have a loan with them? So my point is, some people take energy, you steal in energy, and you don't even have an agreement to steal it. But you steal it. And here's my point. I'm only going with this is because we got a lot of people out here that live in their feelings. But the feelings they live in have never even been brought to the front table to be made clear, to be structured, or nothing. It's just feelings. To me, I'm just not a big person on wasting a lot of energy. If I disagree or have something to say, I make it count. Because if you don't, you'll find yourself all over the place emotionally trying to rectify some parts of dysfunction, whether it's on your part or the other person's part. But the point is, I'm getting back to clarity, because a lot of times the bigger point is, we're largely talking about relationships or marriages, but we can't forget there are people that's just dating, doing this, getting to know someone. There is no real clarity, and they even stealing energy. So it's like, where do we? That's what I'm saying. If you're taking energy, you shouldn't even be expounding that energy if there's no clarity. Wow. To me, it makes no sense to give out all this confusion if you don't even know where you stand. Why am I going to go crazy with you and argue with you over how something feels if we can't be a mature enough people to come together and just say, I really like you and I can really see this doing something. I will say something if you give me the space to just say this one thing. When I call you, you don't call back. That's the only thing I got to say. Other than that, I really like you. It might be lighthearted, it's joking, but it's clear. You're putting out there what your issue is, right? It's not that you're going back and just being quiet and, and this, here you go down this silent rabbit hole. You're acting weird, all these different things that's off kilter. That's all.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. Okay. So again, I think we need to, at least for me, when it comes to issues that may arise in my relationship, the first person that I look at is me, always me. I'm looking at me, even when I don't want to look at me. Even when I don't want to look at me, I look at me. And and I might be mad, but I'm still going to look at me, because I have to be the one who acts in a responsible way.
That's it.
And if I really, here's the thing. If I really value what I have, if it's really important to me, if this is the thing that I cherish the most in my life, then I'm going to do whatever I need to do, even if it means sacrificing my feelings for the sake of what I have. Then that's what I am deciding to do. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to kind of go, well, I feel like I'm right. And I feel like I've made the point. I got a point to make. Yeah, okay. Yeah, make your point. You're going to be right alone by yourself. You're going to be right. Yeah, right by yourself. Yep. No doubt.
No, that's what we talk.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. So, we just need, I just feel like, and again, I'm coming from the perspective of a person who more often than what I probably should, shuts down once and again, every now and again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, well, if I can just shut it out of my mind, shut it out of my heart, and then it's not there. But that's not how it works.
Yeah.
At least not for me. I can't speak for nobody else, but at least not for me. That's not how it works. You have to talk about it. And again, I have a woman who's in my life, who is willing to come in my office
and fuss at you.
Look in my face.
Fuss right at you. Be like, "What's wrong? Tell me."
Be like, "Yo, what is your problem?"
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your problem? And again, that also speaks to the fact that, we were talking about it earlier about being on the same wavelength. And I think that has to do with our ability, our capacity to be sensitive to one another.
Yeah.
It's interesting that in relationships, at least from what I'm seeing, that a lot of us aren't empathetic toward one another. We're not sensitive to each other. Like we should be. We're more callous and cold and sterile in terms of how we deal with one another.
Self-protecting.
Yeah, self-preserving. And my thing is, listen, if I'm going to be connected to you, then I'm going to be connected to you, which means I'm not going to shut myself off from you in terms of how I feel about you. You're going to be able to sense it when I walk into the room. And even when I'm not in the room with you, you're going to know how I feel because you're sensitive enough to feel that. And that's often what my wife will tell me when something's not quite right with me. She'll be like, this don't feel right.
Wow.
You feel distant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But how is it that you don't feel distant?
Wow.
In terms of your relationship.
Yeah.
Because you've changed your energy or you've disconnected yourself. So you're distant from the person that you should be close to. And they don't even really have a clue as to why, but because you won't say what it really is.
Yeah.
You know?
That's rough. And truth be told, it's like sometimes what I've seen in a lot of things that I see around, in circles that I run in, on people I see, friends on social media, things I hear, it looks like we're more concerned with being right than we are working.
Yeah.
Me, I don't like, as opinionated as I could be, I am more inclined to just want to work than I am saying, I told you so. Wow. I just want to work. I don't, because when you get hung up in the, you should have did this and blah, 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 the resentment just builds. It doesn't really help because now you're getting frustrated because you're like, I am so tired of hearing this person talk or whatever the case is. And it just gets more and more irritating. So it just gets to the point where you just like, listen, just what will it take for us to meet in the middle?
Right.
And are we mature enough to both migrate there, or are we going to need some additional assistance, right? Can we make it work? Because a lot of times some of these disagreements are very juvenile and childish. Some of these things people disagree over, silly stuff. It just be like, how do we get to be this age and we talking about this? Some of this stuff should be a given, but it's not. We get, when it comes to getting in our feelings, getting in your feelings to me is one of the most frequently visited childlike experiences. When we get in our feelings, it takes you back to being a child. Because now you're pouting, and if you know how you were when you were that kid that your mother told you no, you over there throwing all these tantrums and going through all of this. That's how we are as adults. When we don't get our way, we flip the script, we act a fool, we doing everything but this, and it get crazy, So again, we just have to be mature. You know what you owe. Me and you both, Adam, if we got a vehicle, we know what we got to pay for it, right? We know we have to upkeep the car if we want to enjoy it. We got to do the things. We keep it oil changed. We keep the regularly scheduled services. Take it to get it washed. Put it in the garage. Make sure it's covered. Right? All those things, rather than just leaving things out there to be not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we have talked about this previously before too. And I think in regards to the whole shutdown syndrome, not wanting to talk about what you need to talk about. Again, I think it really has to do with the fact that if your relationship is a safe place to have those discussions and those conversations. That's something that you need to take into consideration, because often, not trying to justify the behavior, not trying to make an excuse for it, but sometimes you feel as though you can't say what you want to say.
Correct.
Because it's not a safe place to say it.
Say it. That's it.
And you know, as much as you love your partner and you care for your partner and your partner loves you, you just haven't gotten to that level where you feel secure enough within the relationship to be able to say what you need to say. And I think that's a real important thing that needs to be continually addressed and continually talked about. That when I'm in this relationship with you, I want to feel safe. Just like women want to feel safe in a relationship and they want to feel secure in a relationship, men want the same thing.
Hello.
Men want to feel safe in relationships. They want to be able to feel like that they can be themselves and not always have to be a superhero or a knight in shining armor, but that they can take off the costume, they can take off the mask, they can take off the armor, and they can be who they actually are, so that you can see them for who they are, and wrap your arms around them and love them regardless of what they may say or share with you. It's important that we have relationships that are safe spaces, and that the information that is shared within the confines and the parameters of that relationship is not later on down the line weaponized, used to exploit us or to take advantage of us. It's important that we have safe relationships in this regard. And again, this all falls under the category of responsibility in relationships. That as a partner in this relationship, that I have a responsibility to make sure that my relationship with my wife is a safe space. It's a secure space. It's a refuge for her. You know what I'm saying? So that she doesn't feel like she has to hold on to anything or everything that might happen, but that she can share those things, even when those things are happening with us.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Those are the important things.
That safe space is paramount.
Absolutely.
So if we rewind it back to the top of the show, we're talking about just that whole concept of what it looks like when the repo man is out, right? He's out lurking. He or she is out lurking to see, let me see if I can find this vehicle and take it. And so in these relationships, we're doing that nighttime thinking, that regression, these thoughts about what's not working. We're weighing the odds. Maybe I need to go snatch, right? Wow. But if you're a person that has ever been behind on your car payment, or even had a vehicle snatched before, there is no stress like what you said about the safe place. There's no stress like walking on eggshells, not knowing when you'll get snatched.
That's true.
That's a miserable scenario to live your life ducking and dodging and over here and this, because you know that repo person in the relationship is relentless about snatching.
Wow.
So now you walking around like, I said, can we talk? And now you maneuvering because you know they are steadfast about what they feel they need, even if it's not even mutually agreed upon. I need it, so I'm going to go ahead and exercise this anyway. So if you get taken, I'm going to take it. So you'll have to come to me, if you care. That is, you'll have to come to me to resolve the debt.
Yeah, but that's such a destructive, sabotaging maneuver that you would think so little of the relationship or value the relationship in such a low degree that you feel as though your only recourse in the relationship, based on how you're feeling, is to snatch your energy from it and to pull away. I mean, that's so. And I understand part of the dynamic that's happening there, because part of it has to do with self-preservation. You're trying to defend yourself from possibly being hurt. But if you don't put yourself out there, then you're not going to get anything.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You're not going to really get, and again, this is your decision to snatch is based on your feelings. Your feelings don't last forever. Your feelings are temporary.
That's it.
And again, that's why I said with your feelings that we have validated, we also need to consider the facts that are also in play. You have to consider both things. And so once you are able to, okay, put your feelings to the side for a minute, let's look at the facts and let's really talk about the factual data that we have. Now we can both come to the table and begin to, I guess, negotiate, if you will, or have a conversation as to how we're going to resolve this. But if it's all based on your feelings, then I'm not going to ever win. You're not going to ever win.
Yeah, that's it. You know, that's it. At what point are we going to base them on the facts? Like what you said, that's it. A lot of times, like you said, think of it this way. You don't even get to take sometimes, like, you don't even get to take the car off the lot. And let's say it this way. If you come into the lot, you don't have enough of a down payment, you don't have a high enough credit score. Right. So if you come into the lot, you're dealing with a lot of insecurity. We're not able to finance you. You come into the lot and you're prone to have unrealistic expectations. Right. We're not able to extend you a loan. Yeah. You come into the lot and you're still in another relationship. Right. You got to go to the other dealer down the street that'll offer you the high interest loan. Right. So you got to look at these things. It's the same thing when it comes to some of us. And the point I'm making of this is before we can even get to being repoed, period, we got to stop at the dealer and say, if you're coming in here, are you ready for the responsibility of paying the note? Right. Are you ready for that? Because some of us, we quick to throw all these words out and say all these things, but some of us ain't even ready to pay the note. Right. We can't even pay us first. Yeah. We can't even deal with you. Right. The thing with you is, are you dealing with that insecurity? I know we talked about it before, but that is a cancer-eating monster. Oh, yeah. You don't deal with the insecurity. You just need to be quiet and do some inner exercises off to the side, right? Deal with that, because that insecurity thing is a killer. Yeah. And other thing is, again, before you approach these relationships, be done. We stop getting people to fill holes. We pick people to fill holes that are busted and left by the other person. And instead of you healing, you just don't want to be alone. So let me get a placeholder to sit here and deal and play relationship with me and try to clean up some of the things the other person broke. Wow. Yeah. So there's a whole lot to this whole thing, but at the end of the day, we don't want to belabor the hour. But at the end of the day,
let me just say the same thing across the whole situation. So watch this. So I'm again probably gonna make somebody upset, but it's okay. All right. Help you real quick. So the rule should be that if you're going to go look for a car, that you should be able to pay your other bills, your electricity bill. Yeah. Okay. But if you can't pay your electricity bill, what makes you think you can afford a car? Because a car is a step up, right?
Correct.
It's a step up from where you are, because you're moving from public transportation to private transportation.
That's it.
Which means it requires a whole nother level of finance that you might not necessarily have at this particular point in time. I'm not saying that you won't have it. I'm just saying at this particular point in time, you need to do some work financially in order to be able to afford what you want to afford in the future.
That's real talk.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just the real thing. That's apply that principle to relationships. Yeah. If you can't be committed to one person, or rather, if you find yourself playing the field, going here, there, and everywhere, you know what I'm saying, doing this with that one and doing this with this other one, then what makes you think you can commit to this one person?
Wow.
Because up until this point in time, you haven't shown that behavior. I'm just saying that past behavior is a clear indication of future behavior.
Correct.
So if you're still doing what you did do, what means you're going to do things differently later on?
Yeah.
That's all. That's all.
It's a talk, man. So, like I said, this is a good show. I mean, really good. Really.
We surprised ourselves again.
Yes, the moral of the story is this. I know today we're dealing with the snatching of energy that was once extended and is now taken away. At the end of the day, we have to make a practice of extending empathy to others that we want extended to us. Yeah. At the end of the day, all of this whole modern day mindset of me, I matter only, it's just making this world a worse place to exist, right? Everybody is selfish. Everybody will cut you off in a heartbeat. Forget about being repoed. You blocked, phone deleted out the phone book. No, it's just ridiculous. It's just like, really? All I did was say I can't make it at 5 o'clock to eat with you. I'm just making an example. We so on the moment of dismissal, it is ridiculous. And It's like, you got to say to yourself, if you want a substantial relationship, what am I willing to give back to the other person to make sure that I get that? If I want it, there is no such thing as wanting all this great treatment and the ideal woman and the ideal man. If you're showing up a quarter of that, you got to be ready to present what you want. Don't come in here with a whole raincoat. You inside the house with an umbrella, boots on. I'm like, hey, is it cold in here? No. Is it raining in here? Leaking? No. Well, why you got on that on? I feel safe. But you're not ready to come in the house. Oh, that's how the relationships are. We're stepping up to these relationships with all of this protective gear. How can someone penetrate you enough mentally, psychologically to affect anything to stimulate you to want something if you are tough to touch? If I can't touch you or affect you, forget about being afraid to be played, because at some point we gotta say we are grown.
Right.
We know what a trick looks and sound like.
Wow.
We know what it looks like. Stop making the excuses. You know when somebody is feeding you a line of crap. You know when somebody just wants to sleep with you.
Wow.
If a woman just want to sleep with you, she gonna keep presenting opportunities to be in a physical place alone somewhere transactional. If a man want to sleep with you, guess what? When he meets you, he ain't thinking about nothing you saying. All he doing is scanning up and down, scanning up. You look, sweetie. You really wearing that dress. He don't care about nothing coming out your mouth. He just care about what he see right there in the moment. Some of this stuff, as grown people, we gotta stop using the victim card, because the reason we are where we are emotionally, hurt like we are emotionally, is because we made the choices.
Right.
For whatever reason, you picked her, you picked him. Yep. And you got what you got out of it because you have a track record of a specific type.
Right.
When are we gonna get to the point to say this type doesn't serve me? And change it, because the type is what's keeping you typically dramatic.
Wow.
So we gotta work on all that and be honest and stop playing. We're so good at playing victim and pointing the finger. If you're in it, you're just as plausible.
Absolutely.
So stop all the pointing the finger. If the other person, they don't acknowledge. Oh, you're in it. Deal with it. You in it. Deal with it. Stop all the excuses. Stop all the bull crap. You're involved in the relationship. You're grown. This ain't your first rodeo. Some of y'all been married 2 and 3 times. Some of y'all got children with this guy, that guy, or this woman, that woman. It ain't nothing new. Trauma is not new. So let's stop playing these games, right? And at the end of the day, you know you don't want anybody to repossess from you what you think is cool to take from them. You know, if somebody snatched something from you, you'll be at the door ready to bust windows out the car, act a fool, act crazy. But we so quick today to be like, oh, you know what? I don't have time for that. That does not serve me. Well, you ain't going to serve nobody. Guess what? A man is a man, a woman is a woman. If you come short to any grown person, they're going to give you less. People ain't accepting the crap no more. Either you come correct or you don't come at all. Later for the excuses, later for the victimhood. It is lame and old. Time to grow up and pick something else to put on the table. But the Woe Is Me song is played out. It ain't getting no more spins at the radio station. All right. Now, yes, that does go for both parties. You know, let's turn up. Let's turn up. All right. It does go for both parties.
It does. It does.
Again, no, we are all grown. We don't got to play the games. Once you realize such and such doesn't work for you, be like, what's the new word? Stand on business.
Oh, wow.
And take that position and stop playing the games. Because what we do is, if we can't get you one way, we want to try to manipulate you another way. And trust me, sex is not the weapon. It is the sentence. So let's stop thinking we got sex is our weapon to do what he wants you to know. Your sex is a sentence to a miserable life. It ain't gonna get you nowhere but on the bottom of the barrel. Make no mistake about it. We are all grown. We done had, if you have subscribed to sex legally or unauthorized, you have had it. It ain't nothing new. Nobody tossed it up in the salad to make somebody make tricks and do all these miracles for you. No, what people are after today is being treated fair and right. People want a fair exchange. Later for the victim stuff, later for the excuses. Just meet me where I'm meeting you. That's it. Be grown, own your stuff, stand on it. Stop making excuses. Stop saying, "Whoa, it's me." Take your part in the fight and grow up and pay the debt together. That's it.
Y'all heard that, right? The preacher done told you. The preacher told you.
Enough is enough. Now, this is all stop it and own it. Own the crap. Just cut it out. We all know when we offend. We know when we offend somebody. We know when we got broken arguments. We know when we didn't fix it. We didn't mend it. We know when we grown. We not children. We grown. We paying whole mortgages and bills. We ain't kids. Let's be for real. Stop playing and stop making these little people excuses. You know the definition of a grown and sexy person is a person that handles their business above sea level. We're not just all we're not in the weeds complaining. We doing what we got to do, good, bad, or indifferent. That is high level, not no money, none of that. It's your level of awareness, your level of emotional intelligence, your level of resolve and fortitude, your ability to control your emotions. You are not a child. You are not allowed to go over in the corner and scream and break things. Grow up. Period. Point blank. Well, that's it.
That we done struck a nerve with you, son.
That's it.
You
know what? Some of these things, I don't mean no harm, but some of these things, it just be a lot. I think when I sit back and I'm quiet, but I watch and I listen, and some of these things I see, we want to be massaged. We want somebody to pander to us. We don't want to be checked for the dysfunctional people that we are and just call it what it is. Some of us are just dysfunctional and we don't want to work on ourselves to get ourselves together. But what we do is instead polish ourselves and go outside and fool the next one. We got to stop. Deal with who you are and just good, bad, or indifferent and show up better. That's all. That's how we avoid all these repossessions and energy issues. Show up better for one another. And that's how you fix it. Period. All right. Okay. Now,
are you okay? You need some water?
I think I
should. You all right? Because
Bruce, I'm going to church. I'm going to go to church. Lord have mercy.
What just happened?
I didn't see that coming. But anyway. Thank y'all for tuning in today to Unique Perspectives Love Talk Radio. where we talked about the energy repo man.
Oh, Lord.
Snatching of energy and how selfish it is when you have the opportunity to speak to the creditor and discuss the debt before any action is taken.
Kimberly Adema said you need a hug.
I don't need no hug. I need truth. That's what I need. I like truth. Give me the truth. The truth is my hug. Save the victim. Give me the truth. That's what I like. Anyway, appreciate y'all. Much love to y'all today. I love it when y'all are passionate and y'all engage and y'all keep us going. We like this community. This is a community and we love it and we like to exchange information. And sometimes we get on the show. Even me and Adam don't always agree, or y'all may not agree. All of these things, it's all love. It's all meant to improve and help each other. So nobody walk away in your feelings or none of those things. Nobody dislikes anybody. We just get passionate in the moment of trying to communicate our thoughts and feelings to you guys and vice versa. So much love to y'all. All right, man. Anyway, I'm tired of this.
I don't even know what to say.
Now I'm really ready for Unplugged. See y'all in a minute. Now it's time for the ugly Unplugged. I'm sick of this. Anyway, all right. So we'll see you guys next week, Thursday at 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will go from there. Holla.
You okay? You need some water?
No.
You need to take a little break? You okay?
You know what I think it's safe to do in life now to everybody to avoid energy repossession. Just go out and scratch off the VIN number and change the tags. That's it. Then nobody can take nothing.
All right, dude. I'm telling you, that was so specific and so like, you know.
Yeah. That's Southeast. That's Southeast. I gave y'all some Southeast Washington, D.C. Advice. Yeah, scratch off the VIN number and change the tags, and they don't know the car no more. That's it. But anyway, those are the old days. We all got history, Adam. You know, those are the old days. Man. We had to do coming up to keep our cars.
That was so.
We was in Baltimore, DC. We had to do to keep our lives, man.
True. Yeah. I remember. I've had a couple of cars. Let's see. No, I've had at least 2 cars repossessed.
I had one. Listen, let me tell you this quick story. I had one. I remember like it was yesterday. I had a Lincoln Aviator. It was green. It was nice.
I remember that jump.
I'm being irresponsible. I'm all funning with life and whatever, casting all the can to the wind, spending more money out than you are being responsible, right?
Right.
Here I am at the movies. I'm taking my little friend to the movie. I'm like, hey, we're gonna go to the movies and put the sunroof back, boom, 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 all that, right? So you're doing all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Here's what the funny part is. I'm parking at the movie parking lot. I go in the movie theater. We come, we all, popcorn it up, everything. Come back. I came back out and I just walked like I just knew where I was going to my car, right? So I go over there and I said, hold on, what's wrong? My car was right here. This is where the funny part get, Adam. I told the girl at the time, I was like, that's why I want to come over here. They be stealing cars. That's why I don't be coming to this movie. I'm telling you, man, they be always stealing cars. And look, this is the way I had to play it off real quick. So that was my story. Now, in my gut of guts, I knew what probably happened, but I couldn't say it to the lady right there at the movie. So I had to go ahead and improvise. So I was like, somebody stole my car. But listen, here's the funny part. When I went to when the people came out there, I had to make the police order and all of that. So when I'm calling myself making a police report, the whole nine, then I had to go and talk to the mall security because it happened on the mall premises. I go talk to the mall security. Here's the funny part, Adam. So I'm in there talking to the man, and the girl was outside the other side of the glass. So the girl comes in there, and I'm already not wanting her to come over there and look at the cameras because I don't know what I'm probably going to see.
Right.
Why we look up? Why I look, and here comes so and so Bragg's towing. It wasn't nobody stole. No, it was the tow. He came and he put the wheels down. I said,
oh my God.
But anyway, that was funny. I'll never forget that. I was so embarrassed. And the girl's like, oh my God, they took your car. Oh my God, they took your car and stuff.
Oh my God.
My car, dang, I never forgot. I never had a car problem after that ever again. I was like,
oh my God, dude.
We all live and learn.
Yes, Lord.
Like, dang, took my little aviator.
Oh God. I remember that navigate too. I used to ride in that joint.
I used to love that car, but I was like, man, dang.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. It was on a date and they took your jump.
A day. I already knew I was in deficit. I don't even know why I even went out to win with the car anyway.
Right.
I did like I did in the old school and said, I'll meet you at the booths on the train. You know, we used to catch the Metro train. But yeah, I should have left my car in the garage somewhere. I was mad. I was like, dang. Anyway, we live and we learn, sir. All right, y'all. Much love to y'all. Adam Karen Ellison says she finally caught the show. Much love. Coming back, Karen. We love to have y'all. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Much love to y'all. See y'all next week, 4:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we out.
Peace.